Final betrayed. Bans Jenny forever. Sumit, get out from my house. 90-day fiancé TLC. The tension between Jenny and Sumit has finally reached its breaking point. Their long, complicated relationship has survived countless arguments, cultural battles, and family drama. But this time things have gone so far that there may be no way back. Sumit's family never accepted Jenny, but what happened today has destroyed the last bit of hope she held on to. It all began when Sumit's mother once again made it clear that Jenny would never be part of their home. But this time it wasn't just disapproval or harsh remarks. A sudden confrontation exploded, and everything spiraled out of control. Jenny tried to defend herself, but the more she spoke, the worse the situation became. Sumit's family accused Jenny of ruining their son's life. In front of everyone, Sumit's father shouted that Jenny was a bad influence, and that their son was losing his way. And then came the moment Jenny never imagined she would face. Sumit's father declared loudly, "Jenny is banned from entering this house. Forever." Jenny froze. Years of patience, years of trying to win over this family, and years of loving Sumit, all shattered instantly. She turned to him, tears forming in her eyes, and said, "You told me things would get better. Is this what you meant?" But things only got worse. Under the pressure of his parents, Sumit stayed silent. Jenny begged him to speak up to defend her, but he didn't say a word. His silence felt like the deepest betrayal. Sumit's mother then screamed at him, "If you stand with Jenny, you can leave this house right now. This is my home, and she will never stay here." Hearing that, Jenny stepped back. She expected Sumit to defend her, but instead he told her quietly, "Maybe you shouldn't go inside right now. Let the situation cool down." Jenny couldn't believe it. The man who promised to stand by her was now asking her to step aside. Jenny went upstairs to a small room, where she broke down in tears. She called her daughter and told her everything. "I thought things were finally getting better, but I was wrong," she sobbed. Her daughter told her, "Mom, if he won't stand up for you, why are you still there?" Jenny cried even harder. "I've given up everything for him, and now I'm losing him too." Meanwhile, downstairs, Sumit's family wasn't done. They told him, "If Jenny leaves, we can fix this family. If she stays, everything will fall apart." The pressure was overwhelming. Sumit went back to Jenny, and instead of standing beside her, he delivered the most painful blow of all. He said, "My family asked me to go outside. I can't leave them. Maybe you should stay in a hotel for a few days. I'll figure things out later." Jenny looked at him in shock. "So you're telling me to leave the house? After everything I've done? After everything we've been through?" Sumit looked away and said, "I can't live without my family. Just stay somewhere else for now." Jenny asked, "So today you're choosing them over me?" Again silence. Downstairs, Sumit's family shouted up at him, "If you want peace, tell Jenny to get out of our house right now." This time, Sumit didn't resist. He went to Jenny and quietly said the words that broke her heart completely. "You need to leave. They won't let you stay here." Jenny could barely breathe. That final sentence confirmed everything she feared. She packed her bag slowly, wiping her tears. As she walked out of the house, Sumit only said, "I'll call you later." Jenny didn't turn back. Her tears told the whole story. She wasn't coming back. Outside, Jenny said, "I gave him everything. I trusted him blindly. And today he sacrificed me to keep his family happy. I was never wanted here." In the car, she added, "I spent years trying to win their hearts. I thought love would fix everything. But today they told me I'm banned forever." That was the final blow. This heartbreaking moment shocked the entire 90-day fiancé audience. Viewers who watched Jenny fight for this relationship for years were devastated to see her walk away alone. Later, Sumit appeared on camera and said, "I don't know what to do. I love Jenny, but I can't abandon my family." His response only made fans angrier. They felt that Jenny had stood by Sumit through everything, yet he couldn't take one stand for her. Jenny's last words were simple but powerful. "It's over. This time, it's truly over. I'm not going back." Jenny being kicked out of the house and Sumit refusing to defend her marks the darkest chapter of their entire journey. Jenny sat alone in the small hotel room she booked in a panic. Her eyes were swollen from crying, and her hands wouldn't stop shaking. For the first time in years, she wasn't in the same house as Sumit. The silence felt heavier than anything she had ever experienced. She stared at her phone, expecting a message, a call, anything from him. Yet nothing came. Hours passed, and frustration slowly replaced the heartbreak. Jenny whispered to herself, "How could he let this happen? How could he watch them throw me out?" She replayed the scene again and again. The shouting, the insults, the moment Sumit lowered his head instead of standing beside her. Eventually her phone buzzed. For a second, she thought it was Sumit, but it was a message from a close friend in the US saying she had heard rumors online. Jenny typed back slowly, telling her the truth. "They banned me from the house." Sumit didn't stop them. "I'm in a hotel now." Her friend immediately replied, "Then you need to rethink everything. This shouldn't be happening after all these years." Jenny put her phone down, overwhelmed. She felt torn between love and the harsh reality she could no longer ignore. She had sacrificed her life back home to be with Sumit. Yet here she was, treated like a stranger in a place that was supposed to be her home. Across the city, Sumit sat alone in the courtyard of his family home. His parents were still angry, pacing around and complaining that he had embarrassed the family by marrying a woman they never accepted. Sumit tried to calm them, but every word he said seemed to make things worse. His mother snapped, "You brought shame to us. Now fix it. Keep Jenny away. That is the only solution." His father added, "If she comes back here, you will lose us. Do you understand?" The pressure weighed heavily on Sumit. He was torn between guilt and fear. He knew Jenny needed him, but he also knew his parents would not bend. His mind kept replaying Jenny's tears, the pain in her voice, and the moment she walked out of the home they once planned to share. Finally, he picked up his phone and called her. Jenny answered, but her voice was icy. "What do you want?" she asked. Sumit hesitated. I want to make sure you're okay." Jenny laughed bitterly. "You want me to be okay? You let them kick me out. You stood there and said nothing." Sumit tried to explain, but Jenny cut him off. "I was humiliated in front of everyone, and you didn't defend me. Why should I even trust you now?" Sumit swallowed hard. "I'm trying to fix things. I just need time." Jenny replied sharply, "I gave you time for years. What changed today?" Everything fell apart in minutes. The call ended abruptly, leaving both feeling worse than before. As night fell, Jenny sat at the edge of her bed, staring out the window. She remembered the early days with Sumit, when he promised her a future, when he said his family would eventually accept her. But now those memories felt like broken promises. Jenny decided she needed fresh air. She walked outside, wrapped in a shawl, and found a quiet bench near the hotel entrance. She sat there under the dim streetlight, trying to breathe through the pain. Suddenly her phone rang again. This time, it was Sumit's sister-in-law. Jenny hesitated but answered. The voice on the other end was sharp and unapologetic. "Jenny, you should leave India. This situation will never change. You're wasting your time." Jenny swallowed hard but stayed silent. The caller continued, "No matter how much you try, they won't accept you. And Sumit will never go against his parents. You should think about your own life." Jenny hung up without responding. The words stung because they echoed what she had begun to fear. Meanwhile, Sumit sat with his head in his hands. He felt trapped. His parents watched him from across the room, whispering to each other about their disappointment. Sumit suddenly stood up and walked out of the house without warning. He wandered through the streets, feeling lost. He knew he had pushed Jenny away, but he didn't know if he had the strength to go against his family. After an hour of walking, Sumit finally reached Jenny's hotel. He hesitated outside the entrance, unsure if she would open the door. But he went up anyway and knocked. Jenny opened the door partially, surprised to see him. Her face was tired, and she looked defeated. Sumit said softly, "Please, can we talk?" Jenny stepped aside and let him in reluctantly. He sat on the edge of the bed while she stood near the window, arms crossed. Sumit began slowly, "I'm sorry. I know you're hurt. I didn't want this to happen." Jenny replied, "You didn't want it, but you allowed it." Sumit looked down. "I just don't know how to handle both sides. I'm scared of losing my family." Jenny's eyes filled with tears again. And you're not scared of losing me? That question cut through the room like a blade. Sumit didn't have an answer. He sat frozen, unable to speak. Jenny continued, voice trembling. I can't keep fighting alone. I can't live somewhere I'm not wanted. I can't be with someone who hesitates to protect me. Sumit finally whispered, I don't want to lose you. Jenny shook her head. Then show me. Prove it. Because words mean nothing now. Sumit didn't move. Jenny realized she was still waiting for something he might never be able to give. She took a deep breath and said quietly, maybe it's time we accept the truth. Love isn't enough if I'm always the one being pushed out. Sumit's eyes widened as the reality sank in. Jenny added, I think we need space. Real space. I can't stay like this anymore. Sumit reached out, but Jenny stepped back. She had already made up her mind. The night ended with Sumit walking out of the hotel, stunned and speechless, while Jenny closed the door slowly behind him, knowing this might be the beginning of the end. The next morning arrived with an unsettling stillness. Jenny barely slept. Her mind kept circling around the same painful questions. Did Sumit even fight for her? Was she really expecting too much? Or was this the final warning life had been trying to give her all along? She sat at the edge of the bed holding a cup of tea she never actually drank. The hotel room felt cold, lonely, and painfully unfamiliar. She had spent years dreaming of a life in India with Sumit. Now it seemed like that dream was dissolving faster than she could process. Jenny finally stood up and walked toward the window. The city outside moved like nothing had happened. Cars honking, people crossing the streets, shops opening, while her entire world felt paralyzed. Her phone buzzed again, but it wasn't Sumit. It was the hotel receptionist reminding her that checkout time was approaching. Jenny sighed deeply. She didn't know if she should book another night or leave the city altogether. Just as she grabbed her purse, the phone rang again. This time it was Sumit. Jenny hesitated before answering. Hello. Sumit's voice sounded drained. Jenny, can we meet? Please. Jenny closed her eyes. Why? What else is left to say? I just need to talk to you face to face, Sumit said quietly. I need you to hear me. Jenny didn't speak for several seconds. Finally she said, fine. Meet me downstairs. She ended the call and took a deep breath before heading toward the hotel lobby. Each step felt heavier than the last. When she reached the lobby, she saw Sumit sitting nervously on a couch, his hands fidgeting. He stood up quickly when he saw her. 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way will officially resume with a second season in June, and two beloved couples from the first season of the spin-off will return. One of those couples are Jenny, and Sumit fans will remember Jenny relocated to India to live with Sumit on season 1. Despite Jenny's commitment to move across the world for Sumit, which was a shocking choice to her own kids and grandkids, the couple had a rocky start. Sumit failed to tell his family that Jenny was in India and tried to keep her a secret. In his double life, he left Jenny for days at a time in their apartment. Meanwhile, Jenny tried to get a job but could only speak English. Then the biggest plot twist of all came. Jenny found out Sumit secretly had an arranged marriage with another woman. It wasn't the first lie Sumit told, as the two's initial online spark was prompted when Sumit catfished Jenny with photos of a model. Although the first season brought unique challenges for the couple, during which they seemed to have split towards the end, it now appears Jenny and Sumit may be together after all. A fan claimed to have seen the couple in India in January, which would make sense considering the pair have signed on for a second season of the reality show. The Instagram account at Fraudedbic revealed the sighting. This time, Sumit claims he's going to divorce his wife, and Jenny is apparently moving back to India for a second chance, according to People. Meanwhile, couple Devon and Jihun will also return to the show's second season. After getting pregnant upon their first meeting, Devon moved to South Korea to live with Jihun and their newborn baby. Devon was already a single mom with another child prior to meeting Jihun. 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After? Stars Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh seem to be soaking up the holiday cheer after a turbulent year. The TLC couple spent the holiday with loved ones after this season showed them being formally disowned by his family. In a photo slideshow shared to the couple's joint Instagram account, Sumit's brother, Amit, and his wife are pictured at their 2022 Christmas gathering. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. See you next year 2023. Jenny, 61, and Sumit, 32, captioned the video. There was no photo of Sumit's mother or father, but other family members, including children of the family, were seen throughout. This led fans to think Jenny and Sumit may have mended the rift in their family and been welcomed home for the festive season celebrations. Wait. Everyone was together. Sumit's family, one commenter wrote. That's the Christmas miracle we all want. Another replied, glad to see some of Sumit's family coming around. Red heart, hopefully you were also able to see some of your family for the holidays, Jenny. Green heart. During the season of the 90-day spin-off, Sumit and Jenny dealt with being ostracized from his family in India. Despite their decade-long relationship, Sumit's family has been adamant he break up with Jenny in order to marry someone younger. This led Sumit to marry Jenny in secret. When he finally confessed they'd tied the knot, his family was devastated, and Sumit and his mother have not spoken since, at least not on camera. The last interaction featured between Sumit and his father was a family meeting, including Jenny's daughter, which didn't help mend any fences. Sumit's father said the only way Sumit would be welcomed back into the family was if he ended his marriage. Amit has been at each of these meetings, often taking the side of the family or attempting to ask questions that may help the family see eye to eye. It seems Amit and Sumit's relationship is still strong, at least for now. 90-Day Fiance star Jenny Slatin is upset to learn that her husband Sumit changed his mind about having kids, but some fans think he has every right to do so. Jenny and Sumit's relationship has been going on for longer than they've been in the franchise. The couple met a decade ago when Sumit catfished Jenny when he was just 23 years old. Surprisingly, the couple has stood the test of time and are currently featuring on 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Season 7, still struggling to find happiness together. But in recent episodes, both Jenny and Sumit are upset at the other's change of heart about where to live and children, respectively. While Sumit has been criticized by some for deciding he does want to have kids after all, there are many 90-Day Fiancé fans who think that's something Jenny should have anticipated. In a Reddit thread started by user OKJelly5767, commenters spoke about how young Sumit was when he met Jenny and how natural it is for one to change as they mature. It makes sense that Sumit did not want children at 23, the original poster said, but at 33 years old, of course, things have changed. Other commenters echoed the poster's sentiment, pointing out that it's also not uncommon for guys to want kids later in life. Some also felt that at 23, Sumit wasn't sure what he wanted for his future, and Jenny should have anticipated that. However, not all fans believe Jenny should have known better. I'm no fan of Jenny, another user commented, but she's not responsible for what Sumit might want as he matures. Others agreed that Sumit committed to the relationship with Jenny knowing kids were off the table. Jenny made it very clear that she was done with having children, and it's something Sumit agreed to. Still, there were other fans who saw both sides of the situation and felt that Sumit had just as much of a right to change his mind about kids as Jenny had to change her mind about living in India. It's true that as people mature, they can begin to want different things than they used to. Sumit was certainly young when he got together with Jenny, and he may not have realized that when he agreed to not having children, his thoughts on the matter would change later on. However, Sumit's motivation behind having kids is problematic. He's spoken about having children through surrogacy or adoption as a way to get back in his parents' good graces. Deciding to have kids to make someone else happy is a horrible idea and a complete injustice for the child. Welcoming a child into a family should be done because a couple desires a child, not to appease their parents and not to save a marriage. While Sumit does have the right to grow and evolve as he matures, he also committed to a life with Jenny without children. Jenny definitely has the right to hold Sumit to his promise, but she also must realize that if he is dead set on having kids, she may have to say goodbye to him. Ultimately, there are many ways in which Sumit and Jenny are incompatible, and the decision to have children is just one more. Though the 90-Day Fiancé couple may truly love each other, it's clear that they are a bad match, and it may be best for everyone if they split up. Sumit and Jenny's marriage is coming to a crossroads. On Sunday's episode of 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Sumit told a shocked Jenny that he wants children, which Jenny doesn't want given that she's 64 years old and already has 3 daughters with her ex-husband. Sumit and Jenny's relationship has hardly been smooth sailing since they got married after being together for a decade. During this season, Sumit's family still has not accepted their marriage, mainly due to Jenny being 30 years older than 33-year-old Sumit. During a family dinner last episode, which Sumit's mom chose not to attend, Jenny dropped the bombshell that she was considering moving back to the US with Sumit since his family and Indian society were never going to accept their relationship. On Sunday's episode, Sumit's dad, Anil, said he didn't care since his family didn't believe that Sumit and Jenny's marriage was going to last and that it would be finished within 1 or 2 years. Anil also told Sumit and Jenny that there was nothing they could do to make his mom accept their relationship and that he hoped his son would find someone better than Jenny. Later, Sumit told Jenny he doesn't want to move to the US because he was scared of adjusting, and Jenny wasn't understanding given that she turned her life around to be with him in India. She said she had already talked to a lawyer about getting Sumit a visa, which upset Sumit since she did it without him and he didn't even want to move. He told cameras it was unfair since Jenny had already agreed to make a life with him in India. He then dropped a bombshell on his wife, saying that he wants to have kids, which he had never expressed a desire for before. "I will be 35 by 2 years, and maybe I'll start thinking about having kids," he told her. "We might adopt someone by 35, then I want to have them in India." A shocked Jenny told cameras that she and Sumit had been in agreement since over a decade ago when they first met that they wouldn't have kids together. She asked him why he married her if he wanted to have kids. He admitted that he wanted children as a way to win back the love of his family, who are upset that he can't have kids with Jenny given her age. "Once again, Sumit will do anything to make his parents happy. It doesn't seem like anything has changed," Jenny commented. "Family is always going to be a priority. Basically, always over me." Jenny and Sumit admitted to cameras separately that they wouldn't have married one another if they knew the current circumstances. Sumit said he wouldn't have married Jenny if he thought she wanted to move back to the US, and Jenny said she wouldn't have married Sumit if she thought he wanted kids.